What's up, everybody? This is Squeaks. I'm joined today with Frank and Thomas. Nice to see you all here tonight.
Hey, guys.
What's going on, everybody?
Yep. So we know there's no great episode of Geek Freaks without Squeaks here, so I'm back. Had to take a week off, but I was on vacation. So we're gonna talk a couple things today. I think one of the big highlight that I'm really wanting to get stuck on is Game of Thrones. That we always call it Hedge Night, but it's the Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay,
yeah.
we're so used to Hedge Nights. We just call it Hedge Night.
Yeah,
a little bit of that. I think we're talking about a little bit of 28 years later, Bone Temple, a little tiny bit of Starfleet Academy. I can't imagine that there's much to talk about it. And then, some Avengers stuff. Let's start off with a question. Intro is for you all here, so I'll give you some time to think about it as I have my notes right now. Thomas, this is probably the first time you're hearing about this, but which franchise feels like it is in the We're So Back era, and which one feels like it's stuck? I'm going to start off real quick as you gather yourselves. We're So Back era, which... probably would have never imagined We're So Back because nobody ever talks about this thing. I feel like previously so many years ago, but I'm going with the Dune series.
Ooh,
I think we're definitely back. I think it's just I think it's the undisputed heavyweight right now. Okay. I think the energy's right for Dune. I think everyone's excited for the third movie that should be releasing. Hopefully, I forgot the date to be honest about it. Well, hopefully soon. But with the heavy hitters of he's everywhere now. Timothy Chalamet. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Chalamet.
His
Yeah.
last name, yeah. Chalamet. I always feel like I say his last name right.
Chalamet.
Or wrong, I mean. Yeah.
If you're Adam Sandler.
Apparently, none of us are saying it right. He has a whole other way of saying it, but I think universally we're just like, screw you, it's Chalamet.
I feel like he just changes it up just to be like, depending on what movie he's promoting, I feel like he, spices it up or something.
As long as he doesn't change it to Kardashian, I'll be fine. That's my main.
That could
He's changing his name. Okay.
I can see that happening.
I think that with this series, though, it's becoming one of those cinemas, right? Like you have to see in the movie theater kind of thing like Avatar and whatnot. So I think this is more of an event.
Even Prophecy was good too, by the way.
series.
Dune Prophecy, it was slow, but it got good over time, and now I'm excited for season 2. And that's coming out this year.
Yeah. I love that these movies are, from reading the books, like there's not a lot of action stuff. And I really don't feel like the movies have so much of whatever that action. To me, it's, dull at times. But what it took me is the story. And I love it. I love the story. I love the universe. I like all the drama that's going on. But like if it was, which we'll talk about it soon, like watching the Game of Thrones. But going to my, stuck era. Now, box office is going to say that this is not stuck, but I'm going to say it's stuck. And that's going to be Jurassic World. Okay, so
Ooh, damn.
I just
Those are
feel
some
like
good pulls.
I feel like we're doing repeats, and I didn't mind the first Jurassic World. I really did enjoy seeing the park in a modern era and actually filled with people. But now we're just taking it a little too far, kind of like what Jurassic Park 2 did, Lost in the Kingdom or something.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like always like what happens. It's always those questions is why they're making these movies. Like what happens if we did bring a dinosaur over, or we use dinosaurs for military weapons, whatnot. But it's like let's go back to the basics. Let's keep it in the park. I don't even know what that last one was with Scarlett Johansson. I don't remember the title of it.
Jurassic World Dominion?
Yep. Dominion? Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
I think so.
They just need to redo it. Bring Spielberg's back and redo it. So, yeah, those are my two. Frank, what do you got, man?
So, for the one that I think is on the rise, hear me out, guys, it's Tomb Raider.
Okay.
So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's a
Sophia
good one.
dressed up as Lara Croft.
Right.
I was not expecting that.
How good does Sophia look? It is like
10 out of 10.
Dude.
how I'd want it to look.
Okay, thank you. I finally feel sane here. I was looking through the comments of like a bunch of things, and people were like, "Whack, she wishes."
Oh, dude, they're wild.
I was like, "What?" Yeah. I was like, "She looks fire."
She's as close you can get to the damn games.
Right.
It's perfect.
They're like, if she's not Angelina Jolie, I don't want it. It's like, bro, that was like 20 years ago.
Angelina Jolie's old enough to be a grandmother. We don't need her to be a Tomb Raider.
Right.
That's wild.
Is it Sophie Turner or Sophia Turner? Either way, phenomenal though.
I'll take
both. Wow, I was blown away.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. Easy.
It looks good.
Okay.
And then I think the one that's stuck, I hate to say it, guys, it's Star Trek. I don't think it knows.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
No.
I just don't think they know what they want to do right now. And like the fans are like, we'll watch you out of loyalty, but not necessarily out of excitement. I think we're getting a lot of that with Starfleet Academy. And I do have a lot of good things to say about that when we get to it. But I feel like the vibe right now is that it's stuck.
Yeah, I didn't want to say, I said I didn't want to say it out of a different reason, as in like this would be the easy answer because Star Trek is definitely in that stuck era, and it might take a movie to bring it back to make it do something.
They have 2 planned, but right now Paramount is the villains of Hollywood, so we'll see how well that works.
That's
a hard time finding even talent.
Okay, I'm trying to think here. You guys gave me, obviously, I was gonna say this is the typical answer, and I think everybody at home is probably thinking this, maybe, which is like the MCU, I think, is going to do it. I think the trailer
everyone is, yes.
You're right, like that's the super obvious answer.
We'll see. I mean, about that.
Yeah, like, because it's interesting. It could go either way, right? Like, the movies did okay last year. Some of the shows kind of bombed, like Ironheart. We'll see what Wonder Man does. It could be an argument for it stuck, but also like Fantastic Four Thunderbolts was reviewed highly, didn't make a lot of money. Fantastic Four didn't make it. It made over $500 million, so it still made a lot of money. But it's like, is it stuck? Is it not? I think these trailers show that there's going to be a huge rise. But that's the obvious answer. What I really want.
Oh, so hold on. That was your hype?
That was just like, I think people would be mad if we didn't bring it up.
That would have been my stuck.
Yeah, but the way he's saying is it's like, it's a little bit both.
It's a little bit, like it could be either or. And I think that's what's interesting about the MCU. But if I really want to talk about what I think is on the rise is the Alien Predator universe.
Oh, God, what good
love,
pick.
Every Alien movie show that's come out, it's been killing it. Predator Badlands last year. I'm like, I knew those movies as a kid, but I didn't like love those movies. And since Fede Alvarez and all these new movies, God, man, I love it. We talked about it, Frank. Like Alien Earth was one of my favorite shows last year, like top 3.
Beautifully shot. Yeah. And Badlands is just, it's a fun watch. It's one of those movies I know I could just throw in and watch and be happy. That was so good.
We had some breaking news this month, and some may like it, some may not like it. But we heard that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down at Lucasfilms with Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen. Okay, I'm gonna mess that up. I'm gonna continue to mess that up. Taking the lead, so like a counsel.
It's the same as just to kind of give a picture to this. It's the same as the James Gunn Peter Safran relationship. So just like Peter Safran pays the bills and James Gunn makes shit up, same thing. Dave Filoni's gonna be the one that's creative. He's the one that's making the world, and then Lin-Wen Brennan's gonna have to pay those bills. And I think that I think we're seeing it worked out well for DC so far. Do you guys think that relationship's gonna work well for Star Wars?
As long as they could kind of mold together, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see so much of separate avenues, stay in your lane type thing. I think they can maybe grow from each other, and hopefully it shows like a really great partnership between each other. And
generally you won't see anything from Lin-Wen. I don't think you'll see any of her influence.
But I think that will be like some type of strength if they're always like somewhat together.
Oh, okay, yeah, to kind of temper him a little bit. Good point.
I just think that if we can see a duo working together to try to bring the best product possible, is something that we need in the Star Wars universe right now for sure. Now with Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know about you all, but I was playing that Ludacris song, like "Move, Get Out the Way." I was pretty excited about this news.
And all my comments were playing that song. Yeah,
but I will say, I mean, she had some success, right? Like she brought in, I think it was like 5.3 billion into the company because of Star Wars movies. You know, I mean, if I had an easy ass name slapped on a movie, I could make that money too. Whatever, right? but I'm hoping that I know she's gonna still be producing things, right? Is what I'm hearing. Like she's gonna start on solo projects.
She produced like a bunch of movies back in the day, like Steven Spielberg movies. Like look at her film credits. Like the reason she got that in the first place because she was a badass producer.
Yeah, and that's what I think George Lucas picked her single-handedly, right? For
he pretty much. That's what I remember. Yep.
So I think, I don't know how much work she's going to be involved with Mandalorian and Grogu and what would you say, that Starfighter one. So this is what we're going to really, if it sucks, then a lot of people are going to harp on her for sure now, right?
I think look, I know that the easy thing to do, I have comments going on right now that are literally saying like, she did nothing with those movies or shows. And I'm like, what do you mean she did nothing? Me? She's the one that gives a thumbs up or thumbs down on whether or not they exist. Right. She's the reason they are here. Creatively, there was a lot of other people, but at the end of the day, she has to give it a yes or no. You have to give her credit for those, or else don't talk shit about the things that went bad. Dude. So yes, I personally don't like the Acolyte, but I love Andor. I liked, Rogue One. Solo ended up being good if you watch it again. Things like The Mandalorian and Grogu, all those things she gave a thumbs up to. I think solid work on that. To me, what I'm envisioning from this kind of scenario, if you guys watch the studio, which I know both of you did, it's very much the studio, right? When Seth Rogen gets promoted up and suddenly the one that was his job gets moved down to producer, I kind of see that happening. Like, I bet she's going to help Dave Filoni and Brennan a little bit, kind of whispering in their ears, giving them a little bit of like expertise. So I don't think she's gone. I think she's going to be more of a helping hand now.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about this. Like,
dive in, man.
Yeah. I think, I mean, regardless whether you think she killed it at Star Wars or not, like, she's always going to go down as one of the most legendary producers ever. Like, she's done Jurassic Park, Benjamin Button, Signs, like so many incredible shows. And yeah, and under her belt still, whether you liked how the sequel trilogy turned out or not, she still has the highest grossing film in all of the US ever, which is The Force Awakens. It's the highest grossing movie ever in the US. So, like, not internationally. There's other movies, obviously, that have grossed more, like, you know, with Marvel and stuff. But so that also, like, Andor, like, literally wouldn't exist without her because she had to coax, like, Tony Gilroy in to even write it and showrun it. Like, that show wouldn't exist without her. So I give her a lot of credit for that. They took some chances. And also, like, it was George Lucas's, basically his advice, not advice, but like recommendation to go with J.J. Abrams. We got the J.J. Abrams movie that did well. For whatever reason, right, he couldn't do number 2. They brought in Rian Johnson. Everything went to shit. And then number 3, they try to retroact everything from episode 8. That didn't work. So I think it was a bad hand, but also like the same thing that happened with Marvel in a lot of ways. And people all of a sudden just forget it. It's like COVID was so detrimental to Hollywood. It was like insane how much that affected productions and shows and movies and all this kind of stuff. Along with, we had a writer strike for 6 months. Yeah. Along with, we had an actor strike too. So
plus a shifting landscape to be where, you know, if you follow tax credits, or also there's a lot more, what is that called? Like, God damn it, like B teams and C teams are a lot more active now than they've ever been before. When it used to be just all primary shoots, now you have 3 different people shooting the same movie to save a lot of money. And it's like, Hollywood today is a lot different so it's hard to kind of compare, like you're saying, compare it to other things, you know?
Yeah. So I don't think she was amazing by any means. Like, there was a lot of stuff where you're like, that was so whack. I can't believe that got a thumbs up. But yeah, like, I don't know. I would not want that job. And it makes sense that a lot of companies are going in this way. I think Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen can be successful if Iger doesn't get in the way. And that's the one thing that was smart about DC is like Zaslav is pretty hands off. He doesn't really control the day-to-day. Like, him is just, I mean, the way he goes about it is just numbers, but like, yeah, as long as they can just really take it to where they want to go with Star Wars, I think that's going to be good. And then my other detriment with Filoni is that if he gets too self-referential, it's just about Clone Wars and all that, which I love. I love Clone Wars. But if it's just about that, I don't think modern, like, people, like classic fans are going to understand it. He's going to have to do a lot of explaining in these shows.
It's hard because when you say that, it's like, oh, good, he's going to make movies just for me. But we need it for everybody. And Filoni has come out and said along the lines of like, after I think it's the Mandalorian movie comes out, he himself is widening the scope. Like, he's looking at the Rey stuff. He is himself widening up beyond the Clone Wars. Okay. But it's hard because we know that there's so many good things there with Rebels and whatnot. That's all his. And when we say that like George picked Kathleen, he also picked Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni was his right-hand man for a long time during Clone Wars and whatnot. So there's so much of those two. The DNA is shared there. I think it's good stuff.
Did you know that there was a George Lucas script for 7, 8, 9 too? Or like, I don't know if he wasn't completely finished with 8, but it wasn't fast enough for them. So they were like, no, we got to bring someone else in to write. So we almost got a full-on George Lucas. And if you look at what George Lucas wanted for those movies, a million times better. You're like, I wish I didn't even know this existed because it's so much better.
Yeah. Well, and like, there's also those legend things too, which I love how Filoni pulls from that. Like with Thrawn and stuff like that, he's like, yeah, there's these books they wrote in the 90s that are bombing, and you know, Disney's like, they don't count anymore. And he's like, let's make them count. You know, and he just pulls from them. Like, good, pull from the source material. That's fine. We're cool with it. That's always good.
Yeah, if Dave Filoni can kind of bring back some of that stuff and maybe retrack of what was done and maybe start, like, I guess a soft reboot. I don't know what you would say. But if we have to go back in time a little bit and pretend like things didn't happen for something better, then that's something I'd be down for. Or
just to feel fresh. It doesn't necessarily need to erase anything, but just to feel fresh. I feel like Dave Filoni is the kind of creative director that would take on Old Republic, something that nobody else seems to be wanting to do. I think he's able to find nuggets that don't necessarily exist right now. Just like who would have thought that, the second movie of the prequels had something hidden there with the Clone Wars. And suddenly Ahsoka's there. And probably, I would say, the main character, probably the next actual Skywalker legacy character going forward is her, not necessarily anybody else. And then I do want to shout out Lin-Wen Brennan has worked with Star Wars the entire time too. She's not like some outside person who's just paying bills. She was working on the sequel movies, and she was with Kathleen Kennedy side by side on a lot of projects. So we have two cool Star Wars fans that are making Star Wars now. That feels good to me.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Let's talk about George R. R. Martin for a little bit. We got Game of Thrones. We're all talking about the new show that we'll be going over here in a bit. He had a big interview with the Hollywood Reporter, which I'm always reading their site, guys. I'm hooked. And there's a lot of things he discussed, what's coming up and what's going down. First off, he's working on the book. It just keeps changing. Right now it's over 1,100 pages. Yeah. Yeah.
1,100 pages?
Yeah, he says it's about 2/3 done, and it's 1,100 pages right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of the things he talks about how, and I'm totally at fault for this, is saying like, get your shit done, dude. Stop fucking around. You're going to die soon. Get writing on the books. And he says like, one time somebody asked him that in the middle of a con, they're like, hey, so you're obviously not going to live long enough to write this. Who's going to write it after you? And he's like, that's so hurtful. And so I do kind of got to stop being so cruel and being like, hey man, thank you for what you've done already. Finish the book, but we don't have to keep saying you're going to die. So finish the book, but yeah.
Shoot.
The other stuff is that, for the Hedge Knight, for the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, they plan on 3 seasons, which are the 3 books that are currently out. George has talked about wanting to write 12 books. We'll see how that goes. And then for the House of the Dragon, that's going to go 4 seasons. So we have the 3rd season coming out this summer, 1 more season after that, that's coming out in 2028. And then they're talking about doing the Sea Snake was going to get a live action series. Now it's going to be animated instead because the costs are so much better. And then they're going to be doing a play about Game of Thrones. And let me see, there was one more. Aegon's Conquest. So they're trying to decide on who will lead this. It'll either be HBO and it'll be a new series, or it'll be Warner Brothers and it'll be what follows Dune after they're done telling the Dune stories. And they'll use like the Dune budget for Aegon's Conquest. Squeaks, being somebody who's read all this stuff, what way would you go with Aegon's Conquest?
I think you tied Dune into it now, so it makes me really want to like see that on a grander scale, right? Mm-hmm. I want to see the kingdoms, the outfits, the dragons, of course, and all of that conquering with Aegon. I really would love to see that on the big screen, right? You like that pun there?
Yeah.
I really would like to see that on the big screen and make it more of a. It almost feels like maybe an expansion of the universe because we're breaking out a TV series and moving it to a movie. So I really like what you said that they're going to do this animated thing. As long as the product is going to be of quality and not just saturating the universe, and then I'm all down for it. But I would love to experience Game of Thrones in a cinema for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any skepticism, I guess, when it comes to making people kind of like get off the couch and go to the movie theaters for this Game of Thrones, or what are we thinking?
I think the best move, like the animated thing's a good move, but I mean, like, let's give a breather. After 2028 and you have the last of the 2 prequels out, let's not make anything for a little bit, guys. Let's get hungry again. Right now, we're all a little bit full. We have 2 Game of Thrones spinoffs coming out this year, and as much as I'm excited about them, I am different than the average viewer. I know that there is oversaturation, like you're talking about, and you have to create the scarcity for there to be a want. So if we're looking at like maybe 2030, maybe we're getting past Secret Wars, and you could kind of be the new big thing in town. We know with Aegon's Conquest, there is major battles. There is dragon. The 3 big dragons, one of them, gosh dang, I can't remember. Now I'm saying it, I can't remember. One of the big green dragon that you see in House of the Dragon is from this era. So you see 3 dragons that size fighting, one of them bigger than all of them.
Green.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be amazing. Yeah. It starts with a V and I can't remember it for the life of me right now.
There's Vagar.
Oh, Vagar. Yeah. Vagar. Yeah. The big green one. She's the smaller of the 3 dragons in that fight. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Balerion the Black Dread is the biggest one. But yeah, I think it would be really gorgeous. And you know what? I hate to be a sucker, but let's get Henry Cavill to play Aegon himself.
Yeah.
Oh, that man can play anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing Henry Cavill too in a Game of Thrones thing, that would be wild because he's
in the white hair like the Witcher.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Thomas, you see the downfall of this potentially being in a movie theater, or do you think it should be maybe just sticking with TV? What do you think?
No, I think you guys are right. I mean, I agree. I think it's cool if they could do it in theater and it have like a totally unique story that you could fit in just one movie. I'm for it. Even if it was like 3 hours long, I'd still go watch it. But I don't know. I'm not super familiar. I didn't read the books. Like, I don't know that character. So is that story compelling enough to have its own movie?
Yeah, yes. I think it'd be kind of scary if it was going to be like a trilogy.
I think they would try to make it a trilogy, though. I think they would add enough to make it a trilogy because you could bring in, the Baratheons because Baratheons and Targaryens are best friends at this point, so you could bring them in like the taking of Storm's End and stuff. You can milk out some stuff. We're seeing how much they're milking out a Night of the Seven Kingdoms already, so they could definitely do it for some movies. Except for this time, it's in a big ass IMAX, and I'm excited.
Yeah. Seeing
Uh-huh.
those dragons, though, in a theater, like you were saying, though, man, that would be incredible. Like, I'm so bummed. Even, the Stranger Things finale I liked it. I know not everybody liked it, but man, I really am bummed I didn't get to see that in theaters. Like, that would have just been cool to see the giant freaking Vecna thing.
Yeah.
I'll go watch some dragons in the theater. That'd be insane.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer, like the battle with the Mind Flayer, like coming, that would have been cool to see it this way. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And even with the big God battle, too, it's not just the dragons, it's armies clashing with armies. And at this time, most of the armies or most of the kingdoms were a little bit more angry with each other and they weren't so united. Aegon, the Conqueror, his whole job is to unite the seven kingdoms. So he's like going around conquering. So you're constantly seeing battle versus battle. It would be very hectic. And and then there's the love triangle between him and his two sisters. One of them, which is this it's Valerian life, guys.
Yeah, I know. That's such a weird.
I'm just saying, my sisters were Targaryen. I mean,
but one of them is like this, like stern war hawk who has an asshole son that's evil. The other one is like this sexy one that he actually loves, and she's kind of fiery and has the son that's like smart and compassionate. And so like you kind of have like it's just a really cool dynamic. Unfortunately, family dynamic, but dynamic. But that would play good too. Even if you were to do a series out of it, like if you milk that part of it out, it would be very interesting. Because there was times where like Maegor, like when things go down and it's between Maegor and the other one, that's a whole other set of fights that could make for a third movie, really, frankly. So we will see.
Yeah, you brought up a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We ready to talk about this thing?
Let's dive into it. I'm down for that. We're gonna keep a little spoiler free in the beginning, so if you guys want to jump up ahead, it's fine. There's notes in the description of this episode, by the way, guys. Our timestamps. You can always just click around to wherever you want to go. But let's go to that initial reaction. I'll jump off first. It's good to be in Westeros again, right? I'm digging Westeros again. Just the beautiful panning shots and like the dirtiness of the fairground in Ashford and stuff like that. That's all fun to see again. I will say was something that I knew was coming. I wasn't sure I was going to land, and it did not land well for me. Is the over-the-top attempt to push humor into a story that has some humor when you're reading it, because the idea that the whole thing is like Dunk is thick as a wall, castle wall. It's because he's stupid, and so it makes sense, but it doesn't play too well for me. What did you think about the humor?
Oh man, it caught me off guard initially. So the first scene where you hear that Game of Thrones background music,
I just love that cut. So
cut
smart
to the critics, and then it's just him just shitting himself. And it's like legit ass sticking out of the tree just shitting. But it caught me off guard.
It's supposed to,
yeah. I heard the show was going to be funny, and now the things that are like popping up and conversations and whatever dialogue were to happen that is funny, I see myself now laughing about it because now I know what this tone is going to be. Yeah. And I love that it's a little different than the normal Game of Thrones.
Very much so.
It's expansion of the universe and making new things with it, and it feeling more of a comedic relief. But I know we're going to have some serious tones, so those serious tones are probably going to feel more deeper.
It's what we ask out of Marvel all the time, right? We always ask Marvel to like, hey, do more genres within Marvel stuff because I want to see the detective movie. I want to see the spy movie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, like, hey, if we're not happy with this, and they're trying right now, right? Kathleen Kennedy promise. And yeah, that initial thing was really very much telling the fans like, oh, you could imagine if you were just not knowing Duncan Egg and the swelling music of, oh, we're here. And as soon as you see him shitting, you're like, oh, what? This is totally different. And it's jarring on purpose.
Yeah.
But then, going forward, there was some like slapstick stuff that's like, okay, you have to embrace it. For the book readers, though, I do want to say a lot of the dialogue that's internal is very kind of jokey because he is stupid. So I think that's some of the things, too, is like you have to remember that you can't have internal dialogue in a show. You have to show it happening, so it makes sense there.
Okay. I feel like you guys sold me on it though, because I don't know anything about this story. I only know the Game of Thrones. I only know House of the Dragon. I did know it was supposed to be a little funny, but it sounds like it's fun. Like they're going for jokes here. There's some bits.
Yeah, there are some bits. That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
They do it in a good way where it's not thrown in the face or trying to force the humor on it. Like I like just simple conversations, like when Duncan went to the head of the tournament or whatever to try to like get into the tournament.
Right.
And just that dialogue back and forth.
The whole time he's like spitting his chew out the whole time. Whatever. Yeah.
Just doing massive like snorting sounds and spitting, and like it's so subtle, but it just works good. It's just like little chuckles here and there.
Yeah, even like Lionel Baratheon, they expanded on that character. He's not played very big in the first, but then they're making him almost like he reminds me somehow of like Jack Sparrow, of just like such a charismatic person that you want to watch them do things.
Right.
And you right away you're like, oh, Lionel, which no spoilers for the future, but he is kind of this like very famous knight that is. He's called the Laughing Storm because he's known for laughing at people that he beats. So you can imagine he's the jock, and so playing that character and expanding on that character, I think is only going to help the wider world of Westeros, because this guy who's dancing with Dunk and he's making jokes, he's the grandfather of Robert Baratheon that we know from Game of Thrones. So you kind of see how Robert Baratheon's this party animal that we see in that show because his grandfather he's a party animal too. Yeah, makes sense.
Really like that comparison. I think that was dead on, because at first he's so serious and then he kind of like lightens or gets drunk, lightens up a little bit. But I could definitely see that going back and forth.
Yeah,
I like that. What do we? So I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'm cosplaying as Egg today. What do we think of that? The little kid?
You know what? I think he did that last time though too. So I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's so little of him. It's not so little, but there's so little about him, I guess you could say. Yeah, so far there's really no complaints with me with this first episode.
I think the casting in general is very solid right now. Dunk is doing just enough of that kind of like, he's honorable because you don't know how to be conniving. Like he learned honor and he's like, all knights are honorable, right? And the rest of them are like, very much Brienne of Tarth. He is the ancestor of Brienne of Tarth. He's very much, so you kind of see it, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a spoiler. It's
you don't think so?
I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. We're not saying who Egg is yet, so that's the main spoiler. Okay. But yeah. Overall, solid start. I'm excited to see the rest of it. I felt far too short. As soon as those credit rolls, I was like, guys, there's what? You just got to the very beginning of the book. It's crazy.
And that might be a positive thing. I think I like that it's only going to be a 40-ish area. That might be pretty nice. Yeah.
Was there any like end credit stuff where like they go into the directors? We get that from like House of Dragon, or was there none of that?
There was, but my damn thing skipped it, so I couldn't get back to it too. It was so weird.
Is that weird? I
hate that it did that.
Why do they do that?
I only watched the upcoming stuff. That was because I was like, oh man, it's already over. I want to see more. And then I watched the like, hey, what coming soon? Which I never watched because I never want to spoil anything. I don't even watch trailers sometimes for certain things.
Yeah.
But
this one, you're an animal.
I just want more.
I don't know.
I just want more.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you guys like Game of Thrones and you just want something different, but in that world, this is a whole lot smaller story. The entire thing takes place in the town of Ashford, and it's no dragons. At this time, dragons don't exist because they're gone already, and so it's all jousting. And this goes out to Aaron from Fandom Portals. I love you, buddy. He's a big fan of Knight's Tale. I'm a big fan of A Knight's Tale. A Knight's Tale came out in 2001. The book for this came out in 98. So this predates A Knight's Tale. It will feel like A Knight's Tale though. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Let's go to Thomas. You saw 28 years later, Bone Temple. What's your initial reaction to that?
So good. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. It's so violent though. Oh my God. Like, yeah, I was like, good thing Christina, my wife, didn't watch this one. She would have freaked out. It was like brutal. And the first one was, or I guess the one before this was good also. But I think this one was way more violent and just brutal.
That's saying something right there. Because that last one was pretty rough too.
Because this one has a lot of the Jimmies, and the Jimmies are fucking crazy.
Okay,
the Jimmies are crazy.
That makes sense. How does it stack up compared to the other one? Does it feel like it's a complete story, or leaning too much into a third movie?
No, oh man, they're so good. The writing on these movies are so good.
Yeah.
Yes, this feels complete. But one thing that I love about what they're doing is it feels like a TV show. When you watch like a really good TV show and at the end, it like opens up a whole new door and you're like, oh shit, what's going to happen next episode? Like I got to watch 15 minutes more of the next one. This does that. along with the last movie did that. So
the last one did that too, because all of a sudden you're like, Jimmy, wait, there's more different bands that are out there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This one opens it up, and man, if you're a fan of the original movie, you're going to be super stoked about this one.
Yeah, those who know about casting stuff are going to be very happy.
Would you say this is like a side quest type thing during the events of the last movie, or is this kind of after the last movie?
Yeah, it picks up right after the last movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And it doesn't pick up with all the characters, but there's like a main chunk of the characters it picks up with. And and it was like the ones you kind of wanted to know. At least I wanted to know about.
Right. So
Yeah.
I would presume it doesn't stick with the original like little town that they were with the first movie. Does it kind of leave them behind for the favor of the sun?
We don't really see.
Ray Fiennes?
Man, I feel like that's a pretty big spoiler. So
Okay.
you decide
okay,
if you want to cut this, but you don't go back to that town at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like they are setting up a franchise that they could continue to expand on, or like one more movie and we're probably good?
It could go either way, to be honest. And it's like, normally I'm just like, we just need one. Let's wrap this up, right? But this could spin off into like a bunch of other directions, and I would want to see that. Like I haven't wanted to watch The Walking Dead in forever, and I haven't watched any of their the spin-offs. But this, man, I want to see what happened in like a million different places. Cause it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so good.
I wouldn't mind seeing this as a series just because the way the British do television shows, they're like 6 episodes per season. And so they wouldn't do the Walking Dead thing. They would have a little more finite leaps, it'd be a little bit better.
And also like they have like when you do a show, usually in the UK, like a written show, like you have a set amount of seasons, right? Like, so it's like this show is only getting 3 seasons max. Or this show's only getting 5 seasons max, unless you're like Doctor Who or something. Yeah. But
what stood out to you the most out of this one? You were talking about the Jimmies. Is there anything else that really kind of stood out to you as like this is a highlight of the movie?
Man, the acting is so freaking good. Like Ralph Ineson is amazing. Even the Jimmies, like as despicable as they are and as horrible as they are, like it's pretty entertaining. You're like, I'm like probably shouldn't be like chuckling at this because this guy's a terrible person, but it's kind of funny. And but also like the situations they put some of the characters in, you're like, this is the most horrible thing. I'm not a big scary movie person, I don't watch a lot of horror movies. This was as like horrific as it gets for me. I was like, God, I don't know. Yeah. This is brutal.
How much did this is a side thing. The real Jimmy character, Jimmy Salvo, I think his last name was, is really bad. Do they lean in on like who they're all based off of?
They touch on it like 1 second, like enough to just say it. Yeah. But also like this is a point in time where that guy in real life, like nobody knew he was just a monster, like a bigger monster as he was.
That's what I'm wondering. Right? If it was like he's a hero. Still,
no, it's funny because I actually, it was crazy enough. Now it's 2 years ago. I was in the UK right after the other movie came out, and I was kind of like, he popped up on TV. It was one of those like, if somebody was like, 2020 did something on like Harvey Weinstein. And it was like one of those shows. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I did not know he was like, because he was like their Pee Wee Herman. He was like the UK.
Mr. Rogers, he was huge.
Yeah. And so that's what's cool about the timeline for this movie, along like it aligns with like real world history, and especially in the UK. So this was before everybody found out he was just like this despicable monster doing like all this terrible stuff to kids. So to these characters in the movie, he still would be like Pee Wee Herman, like a good Pee Wee Herman, like not like a terrible one had, he been Harvey Weinstein or whatever. So it's it's crazy.
Oh man. Let's throw a score on this thing then. How many crazy zombies out of 10 are you giving this?
Bro, oh man, so many. How many bone temple spires? No, I mean this is like but like I have to watch it again, but I'm definitely after we're done with this, I haven't even gone to YouTube and done the deep dives, but I want to. I'm probably at like an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10.
That's strong for a zombie movie, essentially, right? So that is good. But that's
like
kind of what I would give the first movie too. So that tells me where I'm at. So that's pretty solid.
I think I like this one even more than that one. And that one, like I was in the weeds, man. I was in the Reddit forums, like, what does this mean and why? And like, I might be up pretty late tonight doing some research.
Good. I love when a show or a movie does that to me, where I'm just like, tell me more.
Yeah.
Let's jump back real quick, Squeaks. I want to hear your score for Out of the Seven Kingdoms. What would be your out of 10?
Honestly, I would give it. It came strong with what it wanted to be, and that was that humor of a show that gave you different vibes from Game of Thrones. Usually, Game of Thrones would have a first episode and something dramatic would happen or something, and that didn't happen with this one. But and I'm not saying that in a negative way. It definitely set the tone of it's not going to be your typical Game of Thrones. With that, I would probably say maybe like an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I was expecting a little bit more, especially when we saw the puppet female. I knew a little bit of that story, and then when you see like, hey, what's coming in the future? Okay, that's happening. Hopefully, that's the second episode.
Unlikely, because it's 6 episodes long, so? And I think that's going to be like episode 5. Yeah.
Wow, with the whole puppet situation?
Oh, with the fingers.
Or that thing? Yeah, sorry, that thing. Okay, I didn't think it would be that late, but yeah, okay.
I think so.
But yeah, what about you?
I think 8's. I think that 8's fair. I'd maybe go a little low on the 8, but just because it felt so short, and I felt like this story could almost just be a movie. But you know, it's. I'm very excited to be back in Westeros. So I'm trying to not be biased in that aspect of it, just being like happy to hear the term Targaryen again. You know, there's something there too. A heartfelt caper with a twist of romance, Roofman starring Channing Tatum and Kristen Dunst is now available at participating retailers from Paramount Pictures. The biggest SpongeBob movie ever is now on digital. SpongeBob and Patrick dive into the deepest, darkest depths of the underworld where no sponge has gone before. The SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, is now available on digital. Let me do a quick little flyby on Starfleet Academy. So I went in on this thing thinking this is gonna suck.
And that was it. Next.
Yeah. Well, because you know all the marketing. What's that?
It's like that fast. It's like a 30-minute episode or something.
No, I'm just talking.
The whole thing is they're pitching it as like this almost teen high school drama in Star Trek, and we talked about again how you have to have multiple genres within a franchise if you want to be able to have the longevity. So I was open to giving it a shot. They were bringing back some legacy characters. There were a few things that I was kind of happy about. Some of the actors. Paul Giamatti's the bad guy. I mean, how could you hate that? And so I was a little bit concerned, though, with all the teen drama stuff. And when watching it, because the first 2 episodes are out, teen drama's there, guys. And so if you're not a big fan of Riverdale on CW, this might, not be your thing. But I will say what's also there is classic Star Trek. I'll just give you a quick little thing. When on their way from point A to Starfleet Academy in San Francisco, which was good to see that they're going back to San Francisco like the classics. They run into a problem. They're attacked by Paul Giamatti, right? And suddenly they have like an all hands on deck space battle. We got to talk to engineering. It was like, oh, this is Star Trek. They're having a Star Trek in the middle of the Star Trek show. And so I was very excited. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I want more to know this character. I want more. Oh, I like this character. Oh, she's photonic. That's so dope. And suddenly the negative bias I had going into it about being a teen drama fell away. And I was more focused on how these characters are actually working as a crew. And if like that's where this is going, go 100% in. But then of course, over time there are comes back the teen drama stuff. So I think I'm going to watch this a lot of the way that I used to watch Glee back in the day, where I used to fast forward past the singing just to get to the story, which is funny. I used to fast forward past Glee. Oh, I used to always do it. I'd fast forward past the singing so that I can get to the teen drama.
Oh my God, hilarious. We watched it complete opposite ways. I was like, I don't care about their lives. Just show me them singing amazingly.
I just want to know what's going on with the kids.
Notes.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna keep going with this show because the parts that are Star Trek are very good Star Trek, and that's always nice. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because there was a little bit of just kind of like twiddling my thumbs for a little bit here and there, but a hopeful 6 out of 10. I'm excited about the bold future we got ahead of us.
Cool. I think you sold me on it.
I like that.
Yeah, cool. Like I wasn't even gonna probably watch it, but now I think you.
And I am getting that from so many people, but I'm here to say, give it 1 episode. There's 2 that are out right now. Just watch the first one and see. And if it totally turns you off, I get it. But there were some interesting characters. Even some of the kids, I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea, So
okay,
it was cool.
Okay, sold me on it.
Let's jump back to teasers for Avengers. We talked about this a little bit last week. We wanted to revisit for a sec because, man, the theories are a-flying. So looking at the teasers, just a quick reminder for everybody at home. We have the Captain America one, the Thor one. We have Wakanda Forever and X-Men.
X-Men.
Yes. So of these 4 teasers, a lot of people were, the Russo brothers said there's more to it. So we started looking for clues. Have you guys heard any good theories that you like about these 4 teasers?
I have not heard any theories, so I have my seatbelt on. I'm ready to hear
You're
it.
like, I haven't even watched the trailers.
I just said, yeah. So, like, I didn't even know there was an X-Men one out. So,
dude,
wait, did you really not know there was an X-Men one?
Did you see the X-Men one?
I'm literally looking that up right now.
What? No. How?
Let me guess. It's something to do with Magneto and fucking Xavier, right?
It
He's
is.
rolling into the room.
You're right, but it's
That's
pretty
fair.
damn good.
You watch
man.
that. We're gonna get your immediate reaction in the podcast while Thomas tells us about it.
That's
All right,
crazy.
I'm
You
gonna
didn't
take
see
the
it.
headphones off so you can that's right. Let's see if I get any facial expressions on this.
That's amazing. How did you avoid that? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, I was blown away. I will say, I feel like we're going to talk about the timestamps, right? In that theory and how those line up. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. Yeah.
The closest, and I think the most, honestly, the theory I came up with, and not to my own horn, keeps getting more and more evidence for it every day. And so I think that, I don't know, I think it could happen. Granted, there's one part of it that might change, but I don't even think it changes the rest of the theory.
Well, remind us of your theory so that we know a little more. Yeah.
Okay, so the way I'm envisioning it is we know that Doom is going through the multiverse and collecting superpowered children. I said superpowered beings because we don't necessarily know it's just children. We've only seen 2 that confirms it's children, with Franklin and possibly with Steve Rogers and possibly with Love. But so using the tech that we saw at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and in Multiverse of Madness, the Kang tech where all the Kangs were out in the battlefield teleporting in, Doom is going to find a way to get that tech. Then from there, or he even has it already, he's going to go back in time, and this is just for the X-Men one. He's going to go back in time, knowing what he knows about the Sentinels, and he's going to attack the X-Mansion with advanced Sentinel technology. That's why we see that the building's all destroyed, and he's going to either kidnap, I still think it's possible that it's Jean Grey, Famke Johnson, because she's just been confirmed for the movie, which was crazy. Right after I came out with the theory, they were like, oh, she's confirmed for the movie. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, boom, there you go. Or I know people are saying Rachel or Nathan. Yes, I mean, I guess so. I don't know.
I don't know. Like Nathan, I that one I do like. I don't know about Rachel, but Nathan's already kind of established in the wider MCU, so I kind of see that one a little bit.
As Josh Brolin. But the only thing I don't like about Nathan is that doesn't really feel like an incursion to me, because that exists in the regular Marvel. Like, to me, Rachel makes more sense as far as incursions go. But like, I still think, why not just Jean? Like, why does it have to just be the children, or could it just be important people to these characters? You know? And so I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, it could be either one of them, but it's also why we see at the end Cyclops shooting his blast and screaming along with the Sentinel feet in the background. So that's how I think it's all going to tie together. And this is the fun part for me, where this ties into the greater MCU that we've seen, which is, okay, we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine that the Wolverine in that movie was the biggest loser out of all of them. And the reason why he's the biggest loser is because he went out and drinking, got drunk, and then humans came and attacked his X-Men. And so he feels terrible about it. That's why he wears the suit, right? But he's going to find out because of the TVA, they're going to tell them that, hey, somebody is destroying the multiverse and attacking all these timelines, and they're going and attacking these X-Men. Will you go help? Instantly, he's going to be there to defend or avenge his X-Men, or a set of X-Men. And at the beginning of that movie in Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool wanted to be an Avenger. So this is going to be an Avengers level event. So that instantly brings them both into the mix. So I was like, I don't know. That's where I'm going with it. And I don't know. I've yet to be disproven, so we'll see.
I do like that, especially because it kind of ties in the idea of the children and like the children that shouldn't be, especially if you're thinking about like Franklin, him being born next to in space, and also
Steve
like,
Rogers.
Would bringing back Sue Storm also, or Sue Richards, also kind of be a little bit wrong because she's supposed to be dead then? Stuff like that. There's all kinds of little questions that brings up.
Right.
I do like that theory a lot.
Like, Steve Rogers is very clearly like an easy one because he had a kid in a timeline that he's not a part of, thus making a huge branch in the timeline. We also got Thor, like, Love is a part of eternity. She's literally a cosmic being in like a little kid form. Like, that shouldn't happen. And then the one thing that I haven't heard anybody I actually just heard somebody talk about it, and I was like, damn it, they beat me to it. But what I think would bring Wakanda in, and also aligns with Shuri's message of I've lost everybody, and she did. I was surprised that they killed Ramonda in Wakanda Forever. But who I think she's going to go after is T'Challa Jr. And what I think is going to happen is as they go after him, he's going to be aged up, and Danson Idris, I think, from the F1 movie, he's going to pop out. So he's going to be an aged up T'Challa Jr.
That's the worst kept secret in Hollywood, is that he's the next Black Panther.
He's T'Challa Jr.?
He could just be T'Challa, but I think he would probably be T'Challa.
He could be a
Jr.
T'Challa from another timeline or T'Challa Jr. The thing is, like, he keeps hanging out with the cast. There's all kinds of pictures of him with the Black Panther cast. It's like, we get it, guys. He's the next Black Panther.
Okay.
Which is like, I get it. Like, they didn't recast, but I think it's the same thing Star Wars is going through. When I was listening to another conversation, it's like, at some point, if you want to keep the Skywalkers going, you're going to have to recast them. And it's like, just do that with Black Panther. He's an iconic character. The movies are fire. Like, we want more movies with T'Challa in it. Like, I like Shuri. She's amazing. And M'Baku's cool. Like, that trailer was awesome in its own right. But I still want a Black Panther. Like, I need T'Challa.
Back that up. No, we want, Black Panther. Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate event, but we were not done with him. And because of these events, I would totally be down. Just that, hey, the Black Panther 2 should have just
bringing
been
in a new Black Panther would soften us up for what Secret Wars is going to do and reboot many characters. If suddenly we're accepting a new Black Panther while we're standing next to Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, then suddenly we're kind of warming up to the idea like, oh, maybe we could do a fireman, and it kind of softens the blow a little bit.
So, okay, this is another one I want to ask you guys, though, because this got into a huge debate on a podcast I was listening to. Do you think Miles Morales shows up either in Secret Wars or in Doomsday?
If he does not show up in Secret Wars, I will be vocally pissed off. Okay. I will be very mad. I need my Miles Morales. And I want him to be, I can't remember his name, but the kid from Stranger Things
Caleb McLaughlin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That motherfucker can flip like a son of a bitch now. I want to see him in a Spidey suit.
If he's not auditioning for Spider-Man, I don't know what he's doing that for. Because
Juju, Straw Hat Goofy, man, when he made that video, I was like, it just like all of those, like, it was like the meme of like suddenly I can see math and space and stuff. It's like, yes.
Yeah, I think besides Miles Morales is definitely bringing Spider-Gwen into the mix too. I think they're building up these characters because of the Spider-Verse movies. So it's like when you see whatchamacallit, when you see these characters animated and then you transfer them to the live action, that's the big hit. Like, oh shit, that's whatever, she goes by Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen, whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know now I'm hearing they're calling Miles Spin. I'm like, he's been
the kid version,
He's
whatever it is,
he's been called Spin in the comics, like on and off. So it's like not like super. It's not like super weird or anything. But people were making a big deal of it, like they were changing his name or something. But he's gone by that before.
I heard it from Marco, so that tells you it's probably from the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
When my 4-year-old nephew's telling me updates on the Marvel universe, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Things have shifted.
I think you have to do something. We're so used to just calling Miles Morales that it's like, oh yeah, we forget that he's Spider-Man. But like,
also,
I think a different name would be better. Yeah.
And merchandising wise
too.
Is
Ghost Spider, I think.
Yeah. But Haley Steinfeld can't come in and play. She's a little bit older, and she's also already in the MCU.
It'd be a miracle if she even comes back as Hawkeye Jr. Because like now with her kid and Sinner's Money and stuff, like we might never see her again.
Josh Allen money,
Josh Allen money too,
it blew my mind a little bit when we're thinking like Stranger Things. We know Sadie Sinka's joining Spider-Man. So what if Max and Lucas are also Spider people?
What? Oh yeah, I didn't.
And they had that connection in Stranger Things, and they try to get the connection. Yeah,
they're gonna always be a
romance and Spider-Verse thing.
That could work.
Let's get your initial reactions to that X-Men teaser real quick before I move on to the other theory.
I think the only thing that I really take away from it is that Cyclops in that outfit.
That's
man.
the main thing.
And he's angry. Yes. Yeah. Oh man, I love it. I mean, I was getting wet when Wolverine was announced finally in his yellow outfit. So like to see Cyclops in that classic outfit and going berserk. Dimension. Oh man, yeah. Other than that though, like Professor X and Magneto just
doing their thing.
Just die already.
It's coming very soon. Don't worry, it's happening.
No, but like, is there any way they could kill Professor X again on screen? He's already died 3 times on screen.
It's gonna happen again, but it'll probably happen a little less ceremonially. But in
you
a
don't
way,
think
it'll
they'll
be
let him sail off in the sunset?
he's
A
destined
roll.
to die.
Oh,
There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just destined to it. I don't think there's a way for them to save it somehow, being like, CGI.
Or he disappears and James McAvoy walks out.
And you know what? We have not seen any of the first class X-Men, and I think they're saving those ones for Secret War. I think those are all coming in Secret War.
Yeah,
because I actually like the first class movies myself.
They're so good.
Yeah. Okay, here's the other theory, the one that I've been digging into here. The time codes at the end of each teaser started at a certain time, and everybody's like, oh, it's just a 1 week difference. It's actually not, though. It breaks. And so some genius online, and I wish I could tell you who it was. I talk about it on TikTok, though, put those on Endgame and saw what the time codes lead to. So the first one for the Steve Rogers
Hold on. So I'm tracking. What do you mean put them on it? Like the times?
So they're a little time thing. It looks like it's a countdown, but when you look at the first frame, that little glitch of time, if you use that to sync up to Endgame, so the one with like those Infinity Stones, they sync up to different things. Okay?
Yeah, they sync up to different moments in Endgame. Like just the last little bit of the trailer.
So the first timestamp syncs up to the Ancient One, explaining that if you take a stone, you're going to create another universe in Endgame.
Yeah, like a branch timeline.
Right. And he does take that stone, and Steve Rogers is supposed to bring that stone back. Presumably he does. We assume he does. But that's the first one.
And they all took a stone, right? Because they hit it? Or am I thinking of a video game?
We're going to the other ones. The next timestamp is at Avengers Tower with the Loki and the two stones in one moment, where we have the Scepter is one stone, right? And the Tesseract is the other stone. So the second timestamp is two different stones there. All right. That's when they're capturing Loki, and then it starts the Loki series as well, which is also a thing to kind of keep in mind. The third timestamp is in Asgard when Thor and Rocket are talking about doing the heist to steal the one from Asgard. Okay. That's the reality stone that they're stealing from Asgard. And then he talks to his mom. And then the fourth one is when they're talking about the Power Stone and Soul Stone with Rocket and Ant-Man. So that's when Rocket and Ant-Man are talking, and he's like, oh, you're happy to go to space and stuff like that. So each one of the timestamps leads to, in Endgame, them talking about one or two of the stones. And so the idea is that when they took those stones from each timeline, they made incursions that will eventually need to be fixed. And these incursions are now collapsing. An incursion is two universes collapsing on each other. So they created all those when they did these. So now all of a sudden, Dr. Doom is not just a thing invading them, it's a problem they created and they have to fix. Right. And Dr. Doom could have been from one of these worlds. What if Dr. Doom was created when they took the one from his tower? Or what if, here's another one, what if because when Thor went to Asgard to get the stone back, he talked to his mom and warned her of her own death, and also that, he loses by he's in such bad shape because he didn't hit Thanos in the head. So what if she, now knowing this information, tells her son in the current time, go for the head, not for the chest. So then Thanos dies before the events of Endgame. So suddenly every one of these timelines are dramatically different. Right. So if the stones don't come back successfully, they're still very different. You know what I'm saying? I see all the wheels spinning.
Yeah. So I think my question is that we're going to make these stones important when, like, let's say Loki kind of dumbed it down, right?
God damn,
now we're going to go back to like actually caring. Oh yeah, because it's something that
the stones don't matter. That doesn't matter at all. It's the fact that they went back and fucked with the timeline.
Yeah, I know, but it just seems like it's the start of it was because of stones, and like, oh, you told me the stones were basically dog shit.
And I'm still saying the stones in the grander scheme of things are. Yeah. But the Russo brothers have already come out and said that Doomsday is a sequel to Endgame. So it's not
I think that's the more connecting piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not so much a culmination of 4 and 5 or whatever. It's actually a sequel to Endgame more so.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unlike the other Avengers movies.
Yeah. Like this actually is like a traditional, I guess, like 4. And then the Secret Wars would be like a traditional 5 almost, with all these like side story movies and shows in between. But yeah, I like it. I have a theory on who maybe the Doctor Doom is that we have, or that Robert Downey Jr. is. So what if instead of when he snaps, like instead of like bringing everybody back and then Thanos' forces get wiped away, what if instead when he snaps, it wipes away Thanos' forces, but it also takes away everybody who's not supposed to be there, aka his daughter. So that Tony Stark then loses his daughter, but brings back everybody in the world. Yeah.
And maybe he didn't die when he snapped at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you have him all disfigured.
Yep.
So
he's disfigured. Plus, he lost his daughter who he was like, we got to bring everybody back, sure,
Yeah.
but I cannot lose her. But then he does lose her. Plus he gets messed up like that. I don't know.
Plus, that's
I'm
an
like,
Iron Man that invented time travel.
Plus,
So,
yeah, that's true.
in that movie, he invented time travel. So it's like, yeah, he would be Doctor Doom. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, let me talk to that wizard that said this is the one chance that knows magic. I want to learn magic now. You know,
Right.
what are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. And then if you look at the Secret Wars comic, like he makes Strange's bitch. Like he's kind of
Yeah.
his ward, right? Like that'd be
Exactly.
the best
Yeah,
way to
he's
do it. Like I'm gonna learn from you, plus you're my bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. What do you think, Squeaks? You're getting dumped all this information at once. What's some of your takeaways?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is hopefully it's not being just too massive with the amount of conflicts that they're going to have in one movie. Well, two movies, but whatever. Like, so Thomas was talking about the whole Black Panther thing and the new Black Panther, and you're talking about the Stones thing. So my fear is that it's just so much that are we going to get too much sidetracked to like, well, I'm definitely interested in this whole Doctor Doom thing, but now I'm on this path of doing Black Panther 2, you know, that's what my fear is. If this is going to be so much for what they're going to do here.
Yeah, like is it too many stories to try to wrap up? And it's like, right. Yeah, I have confidence.
You're taking away which one's really important. Yeah.
Right. I think based on Infinity War and Endgame, like I think the Russo brothers are going to stick the landing. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm being overly positive, but I think that they've shown that they can do it twice. Like, why can't they do it a third time?
And the other thing too is these are just theories. Like, basically, both of ours technically can be true, but more likely one of ours would be true, not both. So if they are doing this whole thing with like Wakanda, you know, and Black Panther stuff, then maybe it's a multiverse thing there, but not necessarily them revisiting old time stuff. And the second thing is in comic books, not even in comic books, in Marvel, there's not just an Avengers team. And currently in the MCU, it feels like there's just the Avengers team, and like Wakanda has a representative that's in the Avengers with Black Panther. But in the comic books, there's the Thunderbolts, there's the Avengers, West Coast Avengers, a million Avengers teams, the X-Men,
Fantastic Four,
and so this movie I think will feel more comic booky when there's a big event going on. You read the Avengers run to see what's going on over there, or even like with Time's Out, you're reading New Avengers or Time Runs Out and regular Avengers to see the complete story. So this might be a lot, but it also feels kind of like a comic book move. I don't know if the Russo brothers normally would think that way. That's just kind of my pitch on it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, totally. I just finished, like, I just watched marvelous long reads if you don't want to read the whole thing, because I just needed to know what happened in Blood Hunt so I could start, like, this new Fantastic Four run and X-Men run. And I was like, all right, just let me just get the details, right? But it goes book by book. But like, yeah, you got the Avengers on one side, you got what's going on with Blade and his daughter on another side, the Fantastic Four pop in for an issue, like, Elsa Bloodstone and like that group is doing something, but yeah, it's all part of one event. So yeah, it could probably work. I don't know.
Probably
it's
hard.
These movies are gonna be freaking huge, though. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I'm excited. I'm in a weird way. I asked people online, like, did this get you guys hyped? And for the most part, no. But there were a good amount of yeses that these teasers got them hyped. And it's been a long time since I felt hyped for the Marvel universe in this way. I'm like excited for an Avengers movie, you know? So, and not just like a whole new IP. I'm actually excited for these IPs to smash together again.
Yeah, for real. Like there's so many characters who have just never met or never seen again. Like, bring them into the fight. Like, I want to see them with everybody.
All right. I think that's everything for us. Did we talk about everything, guys? Boom, boom, boom. Looks like we did.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with some network stuff. The final episode of Challenge Accepted is out now. Join us as we say goodbye to a fantastic show. Me and Thomas, we get our convos out of the way. I thought that was I edited that. That sounded really good. We did a good job with that.
Right on, man. That was fun.
Distance Learning, they're talking more about Avengers teasers. Did you not get enough from us? Well, you can get more from them, and they're talking about so much more. And all their shows are live. I want to reiterate that all the time. While we are going to be heavily edited to a degree. I mean, come on. But yeah. They
can only have
live,
so many F-bombs.
Right.
Hey, I'm in good.
I don't want to hear about that again. You did pretty good.
You did great.
I know I said one for sure.
I dropped a heavy one. Yeah.
But as long as there's a few, it's fine. But when there's 30 plus and suddenly I hear from Apple, I'm in trouble. But anyway, so theirs is live. So you really get this kind of spontaneous, fun moments. God damn, Frank.
Yeah.
And they're talking to chat all the time. It's a lot of fun. Over on Fandom Portals, they just covered SpongeBob and they looked back at 2025. And Disney Mom's Gone Wrong with special guest James from Disney Starting, just as Zootopia. And that was really fun. As the Disney dad jumping in on that one had 6 hosts on it. It was a lot of people in one recording.
Wow.
That'll be the last time they do that as the editor. That'll be the last time they do that. But
was it a good episode?
There was some really good conversations going on and stuff like that, and really
7 hosts. Let's go 7. Maybe even 8.
And that's the thing too. Is it's like so much like parenting conversation. So sometimes I'm a little in the weeds on it, but yeah, that's what it's all about. If you guys are going there to learn more about Zootopia, you might want to try again. They're talking about being parents, and Zootopia is the people that gets them there.
I've done 2 of those things, I guess. So here we go. I'm definitely checking in on that episode.
It's wild to me how much Zootopia 2 is like just the biggest Disney movie ever. I never thought that would have been that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the most successful animated Disney movie ever.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because the international box office. Let's head into our recommendations for the week. Squeaks, what's your recommendation for the week?
Yeah, I kind of failed. I don't think anybody would think of this, but my recommendation for this week, it's actually a comic book that came out last year. It's going to be a Rogue Savage Land. It's essentially a rogue messing with people's powers, portal into this prehistoric land, right? Stuck there with Magneto and a couple different tribe members, and she's trying to find her way for survival. But it's fun. I mean, it's about 160-ish pages, whatnot. It's a one-off story, but it's a nice little divert into the X-Men world.
Nice. Yeah.
That
was a good one. I think I remember the cover art for that was pretty dope.
Yeah. It's essentially, if anybody probably recognizes this more than the actual comic, but that Rogue skin and Marvel Rivals, that skin is... That's what I'm saying. A lot of people recognize the skin more than they do the comic. But that skin is based off of that comic book run. So, yeah.
My recommendation for the week is jump around and watch some Clone Wars and Rebels. We're entering a new era of Star Wars, and I want you to be excited for it. So start looking at what Dave Filoni was most heavy-handed on, and just kind of pick a few episodes. Google what's the best episode of Clone Wars to watch, and watch it and see, and start to learn more about the guy who's going to be steering the ship going forward. I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
Thomas, what about you, man?
Yeah. I also got some comic book recommendations. So as you know, Frank, like I read pretty much every book in the Krakoan era for X-Men.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. But now I started jumping into like the new phase, like From the Ashes, and like they're all good, I will say. But Gail Simone's run, I think is that Exceptional X-Men? It might be either Uncanny or Exceptional. I can't remember, but so good. She's phenomenal.
What are the characters for that one? That's how I know them, not by the title.
I don't remember. It's been too long, and yeah. But I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I got to jump back in and read more of it, because also I'm doing what I did for Krakoa, which I'm an idiot. I don't know why I torture myself like this, but I'm going from X-Men to Uncanny to Exceptional. Then I've read some Marvel Ultimates recently, which is also good, and I'm also reading Ryan North's Fantastic Four run, which is so good. One of my favorite.
I'm getting that whole collection very soon.
Man,
the artwork on that is very good too.
The artwork is phenomenal, but also like Ryan North is an actual scientist. So he's like written like, can't remember, like physics books or something like that. So he puts like a lot of like really weird, as a Star Trek fan, I think you're going to dig it, because it's like really weird scenarios that are like science based. And you're like, I've never heard of something like this ever. Is this like a real thing? And you have to like look it up, and you're like, I guess theoretically it is, but he uses it in the story for Fantastic Four. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Now that the volumes are starting to come out for those, that's what I wanted to pick those up, because he's still very recent, so it's,
he is,
now the volumes
he restarted it last year too. Like he started from zero after, I think, One World Under Doom, they like restarted it. So it's like a brand new 0, 1, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you can't go too far into
comics,
it.
Guys. I just bought the first volume for Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, banger.
Dude, Absolute Wonder Woman, banger.
Check them out, guys.
I like Batman. Hot take. I like Batman. I don't like it as much as I like Wonder Woman.
Dude, it's my one pull list. Is just classic Batman pull list right now. It's my one comic on the pull list. And it's like they just brought in the Minotaur, a new villain, and it's like, that's a good idea on a villain. You guys fucking keep reinventing the same thing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next Geek Freaks. Make sure you guys drop us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host, you seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.